Hey guys, this is Ray. So I'm headed to Lost Maples State Natural Area. It's about 6:30 in the morning, so it's about the time that most of us would normally be going to work. And this is what I like to do when I'm not at work. So that's what I'm doing. Waking up and going to a place that I like to go to during the hours that I normally would be at work. So we'll see how this works out. Anyway, we'll catch you on the trails.
There are several ranches and exotic game preserves along the way, so you might see some interesting critters just throughout your drive. Be aware that the wildlife that you see might also be low to the ground and small, so pay attention. Keep an eye out for all the critters that you might see around you. Take your time while you're on the trails and enjoy your day. Although there are water fountains at the beginning of some trailheads and some parks, you should always come prepared with your own ration of water, for yourself and for anyone who might be traveling with you.
And basically walking the West Trail. Not sure if I'm going to stay on the West Trail the whole time. There's a lot to see here. Doesn't really matter where you go. Obviously, it's very scenic. One spot. Look at this. Look how beautiful the pattern is. Mind you, get this.
In addition to the trees and foliage that the Lost Maples State Natural Area is known for, there is an abundance of wildlife. Be sure to pause and appreciate the beauty around you every time you get a chance. And when the flowers are blooming, the wildflowers aren't the only colorful things on display throughout the park. Sometimes I wonder if I'm observing nature or if nature is observing me. Have you ever seen a hawk in a tree? How about a hawk in its own nest? You can see this and much, much more at Lost Maples State Natural Area. The diversity of birds is pretty stunning. And if you stay still long enough, you may even get to see a raven taking a drink from a stream. Even formerly domesticated animals call this place home. It's impressive to see both the wildlife and landscape that's shaped by the water that constantly flows throughout this park. The water can be so clear that sometimes it looks like the fish are floating on air. It's always good to get an action shot or two into the finished product. Here I was trying to set up a shot to show you one of the many standing pools of water that you encounter along the trail. You can see the ferns off to your right. What you don't see is there's also a stream of water coming out of that crevice where the ferns are, and basically trickling down into the ground and seeping into this low point. The water brings all kinds of ground cover, which in turn brings all types of creatures. And of course, creatures need to eat, and sometimes creatures get to eat. Their choice of foods may not be as palatable as I like to choose from. Don't worry, that wasn't foreshadowing. The snake isn't going to do anything creepy. It's just going to try to retreat into a crevice. It's like what most snakes will do anytime they feel threatened. And since I'm much larger and more likely to eat the snake than the snake is to eat me, it of course does its best to hide from the human beings. Lizards don't care much for us human beings either. In fact, most wildlife doesn't, but for the observant, you're sure to be treated to a show here.
See here, I'm using my camera to get the shot.
This red-eared slider was making its way across the trail at the same time I was.
Just see it under the tree.
She had quite a way to get to the water when I had happened to cross her. But look, there she goes. Like I said, the water can be so clear here. This feisty critter was either telling us to go home or that it wanted to eat us. I wasn't sure, but rather than take the risk, I tried to keep the camera out of harm's way.